John, I've not known you long, but I love you already. But I have to say that it's disingenuous to claim that the biases that are exhibited on Fox News are any different from the biases exhibited on MSNBC. It's difficult to suggest that these corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. I've been on that MSNBC, mate. It was propagandist nutcrackery on there. I went on a show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on.
Good Morning Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes like Edward Snowden. No one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people.
I'd like to hear a specific example, a provable specific example of an MSNBC correspondent or anchor being on television saying something they knew was false and were saying behind the scenes to people, I'm about to go out and we know that the election wasn't stolen or something equivalent, but I will go out on television and say the opposite. It's not about bias, it's a false equivalency because you don't actually know anything about any of these organizations you're talking about. Even on MSNBC ones, big fucking deal.
My darling, it was more.
It is my impression that the right wing in the United States is more overtly a propaganda arm of the Republican Party than MSNBC is. I would go on to say I would agree that MSNBC is the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party, but they go about it in a smarter way. They don't beat you over the head so much with it. Now, of course, I'm sure someone can pull up a clip, some MSNBC host being overtly pro, the establishment left. That's all fine and good. I concede that MSNBC is Democratic propaganda, not left wing, Democratic propaganda. There's a distinction there. But I would admit that I think it's on the whole, generally speaking, less overt than Fox News. I think Fox News is more overtly, pro right-wing Republican propaganda.
So what's the reason for all this drama right now? Why is this being, because recently I saw that there was some leaked messages or emails on people from Fox News talking about, hey, this is what we're saying to the public, but between us, we don't really believe in this or something like that. Is this what this is tying back to?
Well, I think the reason why this is news is because because the dude Russel Brand was talking to, I believe, was an MSNBC host or someone on MSNBC, and no one ever calls out MSNBC, CNN to their face saying they are Democratic Party propaganda. Everyone is there's like this common understanding, at least in many establishment circles, that it's very obvious, it's very clear, it's very known that Fox News is just Republican Party propaganda. But when you try to say the same thing about MSNBC, they hold on, no, we're very objective, we're the news, we're prim and proper, we're not the same, we're more objective. But if you talk to anyone who isn't in these circles, we would all agree that MSNBC specifically, I think many people would concede that MSNBC is slightly more pro-Democratic Party than CNN. At least CNN, I think, attempts harder, even though they fail at it, but they attempt harder to appear more neutral, at least in their branding, than MSNBC. But I think this is why that's the news, is that he's calling them out to their face, which is almost never done.
So he's basically speaking what everyone was trying to say, but they couldn't really say publicly.
Yeah, but he said it out loud on a public platform. Exactly.
I see. So that's why it's making the rounds, because obviously this is, if you ever since newspapers, ever since back in the day, with every party has some sort of a tool, a newspaper, a news outlet for whoever pays more. That's pretty much it. I don't know why that would be such a big, massive deal, but I guess people...
Because you're not part of MSNBC. This is why it's so funny, because the normal people, everyone's like, yeah, no shit. But you don't understand, man. In these establishment circles, once you start to run around establishment political circles, figures, and media, they live in their own separate world, man. They have their own bubbles where reality does not penetrate. It is the establishment narrative is reality, and in any attempt to obfuscate that, it's like white. It's like white blood cells attacking that they feel like it's an infection attacking the establishment body, and so they attack it like white blood cells.
That's crazy
I'm
analogy
to create that analogy, but I think it does apply.
So you're telling me that there's there's echo chambers? Is that what's happening? This is just people sheltered in their own way of thinking, their own viewpoints, without looking to the not even questioning authority in one way, shape, or form, or whatever. That's crazy, man.
And I think one reason why I think it's easy for these people on like these MSNBC hosts to make believe like they're not in an echo chamber is because they look at the right wing and the fanatical following of Trump, and it's very obvious to a non-Trump fanatic audience how much of a bubble the Trump many aspects of the Trump fan base is.
Mm.
And so they say, "Oh, I couldn't beat that. No, I'm better." But no, there are 100% left-wing bubbles, just as there are 100% right-wing echo chambers and bubbles. And I think,
course.
Russell Brand is just calling that out to their face.
I see. Well, that's actually pretty interesting, man. I think I don't know why this is not news to me, but I guess whoever
Because
is
you were like a
is
normal person.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, guys, let us know in the comments section below what you think about this. And yeah, man, any final words?
Vote right wing, always. Don't even think about it.
Blindly like that?
Yep. Don't think. Just accept.
People are gonna think we're right wing, actually.
People already think we're right wing.
We're not right wing.
I'm right wing.
You are.